Welcome to the Palmcast with Stephen Willis. Now we're going to do things a little different. We are going to provide an honest look at Ole Miss athletics for the fan, by the fan, and of the fan. That is what we do. Hell be to me. I'm just kidding. Tune in for some Ole Miss sports news. We're going to give it to you straight. Yeah. Right now, the Palmcast starts now. It happens now. Holy cow. Listen to me. It's starting. Well, it's going to start right about now. Welcome to the Palmcast on this Thursday afternoon, March 11th. Fun fact, a year ago today was the fateful Ole Miss versus Georgia game. That was the official begin of the pandemic. We're 1 year out officially as of tonight. Thank you for joining the show. I am your host, Stephen Willis. I hope everybody is having fun because that's the reason we're here. There I am, Stephen Willis. Today on the show, we're going to talk about the must-win of all must-wins in Ole Miss basketball tonight. Duke has to pull out of the ACC tournament because of COVID. That's big because we needed them to lose because they were improving their resume in the ACC tournament. And, you know, they're basically a bubble competitor. And Coach O gets extended. Remember, in the state of Mississippi, they only allow 4-year contracts. This contract will go out to 4 years as well. So we'll talk about that a little bit. As you know, I'm very impressed with Coach O and what she is doing. And I don't know, there's a chance they could sneak into the NCAA tournament. We basically have the men and the women on the bubble. After the break, we're going to go back. We cut off the stream yesterday. I don't know exactly what happened. It just cut off. But we're going to do a running back prospectus. We're going to do that again today for spring practice with Jerry and Ely, Henry Parrish, Snoop Connor, the whole 9 yards there. So that'll be the second half of the show. But again, I'm Stephen Willis, and thank you so much for joining us. We're having a good time. I've already gone to the VA today. I'm just hanging out. I'm such an early riser. It is insane. A couple of days ago, the Alcorn State Day, I actually woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And that's Eastern time, by the way, so enjoy that. It's an hour ahead of y'all. Woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning so I could go outside to make sure my sprinkler irrigation system is covering the entire yard. So I went zone by zone with the sprinkler system before it was daylight. So that's the life I'm leading. So, yeah. But anyway, also I am producing the show, and it's up over at the Rebel Walk. All sorts of free content. You know I am very much into free content. Evie and the team do a fantastic job over there, and I would recommend to anybody that is just on the Palmcast side of the house to go over and check the Rebel Walk as well. If you're interested in advertising for the show, we're about to start selling. The LLC needs to be created first for me. But sometime in April, we're going to be able to sell. We're in the ballpark of trending towards 25,000 streams a day already. Not a day, a month already. It's going to increase over time with the number of videos we're doing. It's a cool way to get just unobstructed views of your business and your logo. As you can see, we can put the logo up. You'll see it in the corner in just a second. There it is. And it's up for the whole show. We're selling that. Otherwise, you can just buy an ad for the show, and we're looking at selling an annual agreement for an ad for $10 per 1,000 streams. So as we grow, you grow. If we underperform, you don't have to pay as much. If we overperform, you do have to pay, but you get value for that work. We're looking to doing like a 3-month plan at $15 for 1,000 streams, and also if you want to go month to month, if you don't want that big commitment, you can do it at $20 per 1,000 streams. So that's what we're looking here at Positively Ole Miss. I imagine something similar is going to happen. You can advertise through us. You can advertise through Evie at the Rebel Walk. We're both advertising on this platform, but it's a great way to get your name, image, and likeness out there so people can be aware. And especially me in Central Florida, one thing I'm looking at doing, if you're a travel agent and you want to do this, I am in the heart of Disney. So part of what I'm going to be doing is getting an annual pass and going to the parks and video in little neat cubby holes. So if you want to be a partner in that, that will be available to you as well. But we're going to start that a little bit later when they start selling annual passes again, because right now it would get quite expensive. But anyway, welcome to the Palmcast. It is must win and must win and must win day at Positively Ole Miss. You basically have South Carolina coming in, and Frank Martin's teams are always extremely dangerous. You'll hear that when we do our instant reaction tonight, immediately after the press conference, not the game, the press conference. So about 15 minutes, 20 minutes after the game, you can come on and catch the instant reaction with me and Trevor Oxley talking about all the stuff that's going on in the game. If they win, we'll talk about the bubble. We'll begin to look at LSU a little bit. But it'll be a nice way to catch into that, and that'll be up the next day if you miss it tonight. So if you want to go to bed, you can catch it later on YouTube channel and all the places that the podcast is available, that will be available. So Frank Martin, Kermit Davis, expect a defensive game. We matched up pretty well. They foul a lot. We need to make our free throws. If we struggle at the free throw line, it's going to be closer than it should be. They can play South Carolina, meaning a little frantic, and once they got frantic last game, they really cut into the league. And the key to that game was the emergence of Devontae Shuler and his work at the line. I think he went over 30 in that game. He was all around a big player and did a lot of work. Nearly half of his points were at the free throw line. So it was a big game in his return to South Carolina. The Irmo, South Carolina native needs to replicate that tonight, because we need basically a shooter. We need someone that can come in and make the big play and do all that, because that's the role that he plays, is the big play shooter. And if he can do that, there's a chance for Ole Miss to go on a run. Now, if Ole Miss shoots the ball well, South Carolina really doesn't have a chance. I'll just say that right now. The people that take down Ole Miss are people that can score the ball in bunches, and Ole Miss has a struggle night shooting. Because Ole Miss's defense, if Ole Miss plays three-point defense and everything, they do what they normally do, South Carolina should be in a lot of trouble. There's not really an alpha on South Carolina's team. I think Lawson is as close as it gets, but he's not really that guy. But it's something to pay attention to. Tip-off is going to be about, I think, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock tonight. Let's see. What is tip-off tonight? Let's see. Just a second. I know this is not the best VOD, but I just don't want to give you bad information. Again, Duke is out of the ACC tournament. That's huge news for Ole Miss. Huge. Ole Miss tips off at 8 Central, 9 Eastern on the SEC network. South Carolina went 6-14 this year. Ole Miss went 15-10. Ole Miss actually did a good job at getting games in. There's a lot of teams that really struggle. If you look at Texas A&M, they're down like 7 games this year, as opposed to where they could be. Because of all the COVID stuff and all the stuff we had to go through, Ole Miss actually did a pretty good job at it. So I commend all the people in the athletic department, from Keith Carter on down to the athletic trainers and down the list. They did a heck of a job with COVID so far. We still have some baseball to get through, but now that the vaccine is starting to become more prevalent, you'll see baseball get a little bit easier, and then we can get back into a little bit of this new normal. And it won't be exactly what it was before COVID. There's been things that's changed. There's been things that have been made more efficient because of COVID, and that isn't going away, because efficiency wins every time. But it will start to relax a little bit, and you'll be able to go back and you'll see full stadiums and things like that. But the attendance decline that we were already seeing, that we were already dealing with in college athletics, if you look at football, they were down 10, 15%. Stadium to stadium, especially in the larger stadiums like Florida and Alabama. This is a situation to where it could be exasperated by that. So it might be something, we don't know what it looks like, and they're going to try and sell them all out. I'm not telling you not to go either. I would not be surprised to see Vaught Hemingway with a attendance in the low 50s next year. Just because of people staying home and habits that were formed during the last year. I mean, it's a real thing. You can follow it. You can go over to the Rebel Walk. You can go right here. You can follow everything you want to know about Ole Miss. Go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com, Positively Ole Miss, all one word. Hit the bell. Great games are on that channel. A lot of them without commercials. Chauncey Godwin's interception game from 1989 on that YouTube channel. All the games that we could get on demand from the 2020 season. If you want to relive Lane Kiffin season, it's right there. Touch of a button. Doesn't cost you a dime. So between that and the Rebel Walk, we should be able to fill in both avenues that you might expect to get the information that you want to get. So it's pretty cool. Also, I want to talk about Coach Yo got an extension up to 4 years in Mississippi with some financial inducements for the staff raised up as well. A little bit of there's from the team jumping up as far as they did. Remember, Coach Yo took over this team when they were about rock bottom and just slowly built it and got pieces in place, and now they're at 500. Their net is at 42. Both Ole Miss teams are on the bubble right now, with a chance to go to the NCAA tournament. Now, they might go to the women's NIT. That's fine. But any postseason is good for these girls. I think that it just needs to be recognized, the journey that they are on. They hit the mile marker that they're at, but they're growing in a extreme directions. It's nothing but buy this stock of this Ole Miss Lady Rebs basketball team, and it's just fantastic to see. We had an all-conference player this year and two freshmen of the year, or two freshmen all conferences. So it's cool, and as you can see, they were beating ranked teams at the end of the year. They were kind of coming into their own. And early in the COVID, they were going to struggle because they were freshmen. But after they gelled and they just kept working and kept working and kept working, they broke through. And that's an avenue that everybody should be proud of. Winning that. And Coach Yo was rewarded with a contract extension, and a lot of good things are in store for the Lady Rebs. And honestly, that makes me really excited. They're a good watch. And, I mean, Shakira Austin's a heck of a basketball player. I'm looking forward to watching the freshmen develop. And as you can see, for a must-win game, I'm rocking the 2001 Throwbacks T-shirt with Justin Reed's number. And in 2001, I was in the Navy, just full disclosure. And I watched the Sweet 16 game in my office. It was about 8 o'clock at night. It was a night game playing against Arizona. I remember that vividly. And it's kind of cool to see jerseys from that era. It kind of takes you back. It's kind of a combination, by the way, these jerseys, of the original Ole Miss font from Ed Murphy time frame and before that. And the numbers and all that are the Rob Evans era type numbers. And it's just a pretty neat uniform. It just kind of worked out together. But I didn't get to see many games up there because there was no SEC network in 2001. And I was stuck outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So, but I did get to see them in the NCAA tournament. It was fun. It was pretty great. When we come back, we're going to get into basically football, spring football. We're going to do a running back prospectus again. And we'll go over Jerrion Ealy, Snoop Conner, Henry Parrish, and Kentrell Bullock. All of them have big springs in store for them, except for maybe Jerrion Ealy. But I'll tell you why. Right after this break, and stick around.
Only 10% of us get enough daily exercise.
And that number is dropping.
Nearly 30% of us are overweight or obese.
We spend 6 hours a day in front of a screen.
As a result, we now have a shorter life expectancy than our parents.
But give us the right start in sports, and we'll never stop.
Learn how at active4life.ca.
Hey, this is Stephen Willis from Positively Ole Miss. We're almost done with this break. We'll be back with good information quite soon.
The military has been in every generation of my family, and so has VA. It wasn't easy for my dad after Vietnam, but VA helped him and my mom get the home they'd always wanted. My grandpa's been coming to VA since World War II. They even helped him lay to rest one of his battle buddies from Normandy. And me, I followed in their footsteps and served with pride. And now that I'm out of the military, the GI Bill's helping me with school. Every generation of my family has served, and VA has served us all.
Welcome back. Need to turn that on. Yeah, the mixed minus is on it every now and then. If you don't turn it off, there's like a 3-second delay of what you're saying and when you actually hear it, and that can be quite distracting when talking. We've gone over the must-win of all must-wins for Ole Miss men's basketball tonight versus South Carolina, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, SEC Network. We have hit on Coach O's extension and the great work they're doing at women's basketball currently, and well-deserved. I've been her fan as you listen to this show for months now. All the way back to the blowouts early in the years, like, hey, this is coming, this is going to happen. So spring practice is about a week and a half away, I think. I think so. It's coming up pretty quick. And we've gone over the quarterbacks, and obviously we talked about Matt Corral, Luke Altmaier, and Kincaid Dent. We did not touch on any 2022s or 2023s. When Leanne does her show in a couple of weeks, we will start breaking that down by position group. But yesterday we went over did this big, long, flowery piece on the running backs. And through the running backs, basically, you can see the growth points. You can see with Jerrion Ealy being limited this spring, and they should not play him this spring. You know what you get from Jerrion Ealy. Let that heal, get better, and come back for fall camp and the summer program and fully healthy and ready to go. Henry Parrish, though, has a chance to absolutely be the alpha. He reminds me a little bit of Warrick Dunn, as in the way he plays the position. He's not an overly physical guy, but he's an excellent all-around guy, and he's very smooth. It just doesn't look like he's putting out much effort. And you look down, and it's like, oh, okay, that was like a 2-yard gain. Oh, he gained 5. So it doesn't look like much, but it just happens. And he's all-around back. He's good out of the backfield. He made several one-handed great catches this year. He has a chance to really stake his claim as the alpha when Jerrion Ealy leaves, because that competition starts now. And that's why spring is important. So people are going to tell you spring is not important and everything's going on. It may not be important from a team standpoint, but from an individual standpoint, it is instrumental for development. Players like Henry Parrish, player like Kentrell Bullock, a player like Snoop Conner can take these 15 next practices and expand their game, even if it's something they learned on a get-off in a bowl game that you can just practice that. And then by fall, it's kind of become muscle memory. So it's important for that. Now, you can't watch the spring game for the score. You can't really watch it for team aspects. You watch the spring game for individual development. Now, they're not going to show much because they're on the SEC network now, but you watch it for individual development. So we talked about Henry Parrish. What about Snoop Conner? Snoop Conner is a physical running back. You look at the Outback Bowl, it's almost like he's looking for contact even when he breaks away. And that's fine. Some runners are like that. But there's certain aspects of his game that he needs to fine-tune and work on. He probably needs to improve his pass catching ability. That would probably see him on the field in more passing situations. He does very well during the goal line, but don't really pigeonhole yourself into that role. Work on being a 2nd and 7 back just as much as a 3rd and goal back. And stuff like that can develop him for the next level, because let's be real, that's what everybody out there wants, is to get to the next level. And everybody has holes in their game. If they didn't have holes in their game, they'd probably already be in the league. I mean, everybody, even Jerry and Ely, when he came here, had holes in his game. He's developed them quite well. He's looked at becoming an explosive player. And they found ways to utilize him in space. My favorite touchdown this year from Jerry and Ely was the pass reception that they used, put Elijah Moore in the backfield, put him in the slot, and ran that little hard head fake throw to the back of the end zone against South Carolina. I think you will see that here pretty quick. Sometimes I forget about the video I have, but Jerry and Ely just had a really good year. He didn't have a number of touches because basically, here's the touchdown that's probably my favorite Jerry and Ely of the year. He didn't get a lot of touches because he missed a couple of them. So he was out for LSU and he missed the bowl game. So that's basically in 9 games. He still rushed for nearly 800 yards. So he was probably on pace for close to a 1,000-yard season when people don't realize what type of offense he runs. At Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin runs a whatever works offense. It's a pass offense, it's a run offense, completely based on what the defense is doing. To put that in perspective, every pass play has a tag. Every run play has a tag. One can go to run, one can go to pass. So when the quarterback gets up, depending on the defense, it's going to provide an opportunity to do the things they're not prepared to defend against. We run the ball so much on 3rd and 1. We pass the ball so much on 2nd and short. Coaches that are used to coaching a certain way has trouble with this team because of the way they play. They really are taking on the mindset of the coach, which is a good thing in this situation, especially at Ole Miss. But I'm just really excited about Snoop Conner. Oh, and Kentrell Bullock. That's the other one I want to talk about. I almost forgot about Kentrell. Sorry about that, Kentrell. Kentrell has a huge spring ahead. I've heard people talking inside the camp that he has a little bit of trouble letting stuff go. He's a little bit try hard. And sometimes when you try hard, you're not lose. You're not making the plays like you normally do. But he has a chance to be very special. And that's something. He got a couple of carries in the Outback Bowl with Jerry and Ely out. I think 2 carries for 10 yards or something is what he did. But he did all right. But that running back room is so strong. I think you would be hard pressed to find a better stacked running back room in the Southeastern Conference, and that is including Alabama, and that is including Georgia. Tank Bigsby at Auburn is probably the best running back in the country. But Jerry Ely isn't far back. But the depth going all the way down. By the end of the year last year, Henry Parrish was the number 2, Snoop Conner was the number 3. I mean, as solid as a 1-2-3 as you're going to get. And it's just really great. I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited to see the running back. And also, for people that don't know, the Lane Kiffin, the Baylor running system is roughly the same as the Rich Rod system. Rich Rod does some tweaks and things with the way he does things. But when it comes to O-linemen knowing how to block a certain situation, they've already had a little bit of practice. They didn't have to learn from the scratch. That's the reason the running game and the offense was so high-powered last year, was because the running game was drilled into them. They could handle it. And they also had massive amounts of confidence to do it. So Matt Corral coming in, making good decisions and things like that, all of a sudden this offense becomes very explosive, because who do you stop? I mean, realistically, who do you stop? Now, going into this fall, we're going to talk about it tomorrow, going to the wide receiver room, Ja'Cour Pearson, J.J. Henry, who replaces Elijah Moore. Jonathan Mingo, huge spring for him. Dontario Drummond has a chance to go into the fall as the alpha of that room. So, and all the young guys coming in, the wide receiver room has a chance to be pretty fun. So we'll look at that tomorrow. I'm probably going to give you a couple minutes back. Thank you very much for watching today. And if you want to participate in the show in the future, use hashtag Pomcast, Pomcast. Hashtag Pomcast would see you participate in the show. And that is the way that we can interact and we can grow our brand together and we can have a lot of fun. But right now, if you're looking for any news, anything breaks, go over to the Rebel Walk. They have a lot of great stuff. We'll be here after the game and after the press conference for the instant reaction with Trevor Oxley. That should be a lot of fun. And if Ole Miss wins, we'll do it again tomorrow night. And let's see what else. We'll do a series weekend reaction with Jake for baseball this weekend about the ULM series. And that'll be Sunday. So you've got a Pomcast tomorrow. If we win, you have an instant reaction tomorrow. Sunday, you have an instant reaction for baseball. And then Monday, the Pomcast comes back. So we have a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff coming down the pipe. So thanks for watching. I'm Stephen Willis, and thank you very much, and hotty toddy.